Unless you have a role, you don't join, right? This is the only way to bring
He feels he's already giving way too much to Cavaliers, so he's just too drained.
No, but
Isn't it
he needs to improve, right?
Yeah, today I take a because of that I did
General.
no, table topics.
Oh, but then it got
I was surprised. Then I thought, okay, I'm thinking that I'm giving guidance.
I know,
I
you
should
need
show
to
that
assess,
I
yeah.
And I told them, even if I mess it up, I'm going to stand there and speak. But it was okay. As usual.
Good afternoon, Toastmasters. I, Hida Krishna, your Surgeon at Arms for today's meeting, warmly welcome you all to this special session with the theme Mentors Masters, Mentorship Matters. Mentorship is the bridge between experience and learning. It shapes individuals, fosters growth, and builds strong relationships. Today, we will explore the beauty of guiding and being guided. Before we embark on our journey today, let's take a moment to reflect on the mission of Toastmasters. Our club provides a supportive and positive learning environment where members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills, resulting in developing greater self-confidence and personal growth. Few reminders before we begin. Please take a moment to mark your attendance. The link will be shared in our WhatsApp group. Kindly refrain from discussing topics related to sex, politics, or any religion. Please ensure your mobile phones are set to silent mode. And now, without any further ado, may I call upon the President Toastmaster Prabodha Sarangi to address and kickstart this wonderful session.
Thank you, Sadhguru, Toastmaster Hida, for the nice introduction. Calling meeting number 499B to order. This number will be last, I believe.
I think that we shouldn't go to that, right?
Not C, D, E, F, no. So I think there is no guest today. We don't have VP education with us right now. I think the agenda, all good players are here. Are all others?
No.
So shall we continue? Yeah. Well, how many of you know? I'm going to tell about a person's story. His name is Narendranath Datta. How many of you know Narendranath Datta?
Hearing the first name was a little shocking.
See, in the heart of a colonial India, amidst a turbulent time of social and religious reform, a young man, his name is Narendranath Datta, later known as Swami Vivekananda, found himself struggling with profound spiritual questions. Raised in a well of Bengali family, he was an intelligent, headstrong young man. He excelled academic and had a keen interest in philosophy and theology. But something was missing. Despite his intellectual power, Narendra was troubled by an overwhelming sense of spiritual emptiness. His heart was seeking something deeper than mere booking knowledge. I mean, bookish knowledge. One day, as fate would have it, Narendra heard of a saintly figure from the village of Dakshineswar. His name was Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, a man renowned for his deep spiritual experience and unshakable faith. Many had spoken of his simplicity and the divine wisdom he radiated. Intrigued, Narendra decided to meet this mystic. When he first met Ramakrishna, Narendra was skeptical. His first questions to Ramakrishna was a challenge. Can you show me God? Can you prove the existence of this divine? Ramakrishna, with his deep inner calm, replied simply, Yes, my child, I can show you God. Not through books or theories, but through direct experience. You must have faith, sincerity, and an open heart. Ramakrishna's tone, something in his deep tranquility, touched the chord within him. Narendra returned to the holy man again and again and again, not just out of curiosity, but out of a genuine desire to understand the spiritual truth. Over time, their relationship grew into a deep and transformative mentor-mentee bond. He guided Narendra with patience and love, sharing with him stories of his own mystical experience and inviting him to meditate deeply. One of the most profound moments in the relationship was when Ramakrishna performed a spiritual initiation, it's called Diksha, on Narendra. He asked Narendra to meditate deeply, letting go of all doubts and desires. For a moment, Narendra was hesitant, not fully understanding the significance of what Ramakrishna was asking, but Ramakrishna, in his loving and firm way, insisted as Narendra sat in silence, observed in his meditation, something extraordinary happened. It was in the experience of the divine within himself. Under Ramakrishna's guidance, he embraced the path of selfless service, devotion, and meditation, teaching Vedanta to the world. Years after Ramakrishna's passing, Narendra, now known as Swami Vivekananda, took the mantle of his Guru's message. His speech at the Parliament of the World's Religion in Chicago in 1893 became one of the most iconic moments in his life. And it marked the beginning of his role as a global ambassador for Indian spirituality. Swami Vivekananda never forgot the lesson imparted to him by Ramakrishna, his mentor. The bond between the mentor and mentee was not just one of knowledge, it was one of deep spiritual connection. This story of Ramakrishna and Vivekananda highlights the power of mentorship, especially when it is rooted in spiritual alchemy and self-realization. The essence of this life story is with patience, guidance, and feedback. A mentor can help a mentee overcome their fears, build confidence, and develop crucial public speaking and leadership skills. And we, Toastmasters, doing the same mentor and mentee relationships in our clubs. As you know, Toastmaster International, founded by Ramsey Smedley in 1922. Now it is 100 years old, and more than 16,000 clubs worldwide in 149 countries. So, fellow Toastmasters, let's continue with this mentors and mentee relationships in our Toastmasters fraternity. Fellow Toastmasters. Let's introduce our Toastmaster of the day. Today, our Toastmaster of the day, who is a professional trainer and a coach, helping business management to improve their management and leadership skills, teaching how to work smarter and not harder. He is a Toastmaster since I think past 3 years. a champion in club, area, and division level in international speech annual contest. As you all know him, without waiting, let's welcome our Toastmaster of the day.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, our president, and one and all. Thank you so much for the lovely introduction, President Roberta. It is really an honor to be here, one as a TMOD and two as a mentor or a coach myself. So, thank you for the introduction. Not sure how deserving that was, but thank you. Right, so before we start and getting into our aspects of the theme that has been selected today, can somebody tell me what does the word mentor mean?
The one who guides.
The one who guides, okay.
Lead by example.
Lead by example. Thank you.
A mentor can be a teacher.
A teacher, okay.
Somebody who shapes you.
Thank you. Right. So the origin of the word is in Greek, which was later translated by using French and Latin etymology, and it means to be guided by someone older. That was the original meaning of the word, which was later, of course, used in various contexts. So the reason I chose this theme was something that I already had stated on our WhatsApp group this afternoon. It has been of significance to all of us about what it is to be a mentor or what it is to be mentored at this very forum that we keep meeting every alternate weekend. Right? So that is exactly what I had in mind when I said, why not use this opportunity to bring into the limelight of what is the most important aspect of why we're all here. So the next question is, have you ever asked yourself, why are you here? Not today, but in general. And including today as well. Right. Quarter after quarter, you're paying money, you come here, you spend a lot of time. A lot of veterans over here, you spend a lot of your, you spend a lot of your time in this WMC, Toastmasters, area, DTM, division. It just goes on and on and on. Have you ever paused and wondered why? Yeah. Sure. Right. To learn. Right. And I see a lot of other people who have lot of doubts in your. It looks like I've given you some kind of a eureka moment as to why exactly are you here.
We may lose membership.
So the question I often ask in my life is why? Because if you don't have the answer to why, don't do it. Right? So anything. You wake up in the morning and you head to work, head to any place, whatever that you do, pause and ask yourself, why? So I have this saying, when the why is clear, the how gets going. Right? When the why is clear, the how gets going. So it just means that anything you take up in your life, if you don't have a purpose, if you don't know why you're doing it, don't do it. Right? So if that question is not answered, you're wasting your time without knowing what is your priority. So the one thing that I tell often to my own mentees and to everybody is that don't do anything to just please other people. Often you may not have the answer why, but the only thing we end up doing is doing something to please other people. And if you don't know the answer, just tell yourself and tell other people, I need some time to think about this and come back to you. So if we don't know why we're doing something, just don't do it. That's my philosophy. So with that in mind, we have some things to explore throughout me being your MC today. But without further ado, I would also like to stick to the time, which our president very pioneerly told me already that ensure Emmanuel that we stick to the time, which is forever have been our branding. We don't need to start on time or end on time. But let's see if I can break the tradition or stick to it. Either which ways. I'm going to call out the role players for the day today, and we'll start with our Canadian. So, this Norman Das. Please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My role as grammarian is to introduce word of the day and encourage all the speakers, evaluators, and table topic participants to use this word.
Okay.
The word of the day is confidant. CONFIDANT, not DENT. And what does it mean is a person with whom we can share secrets or private matters, trusting them that they won't be sharing it to others. Some examples which I have thought about my own surroundings and I have made the examples. My brother-in-law runs a business and an employee named Kamal is a trusted confidant for him. My manager Sam, whom we call as a Saint Sam, within few years became a trusted confidant of a GM. For many, their spouse is not only a best friend but also their confidant. My role as a grammarian was to introduce of the day, and even I will be counting the number of words people use it throughout the meeting, and even I will be checking and keeping a track of the grammatical errors and mistakes people make during the meeting. And I will be giving my report at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Norman. And for a lot of you would know I'm a little unconventional. I don't believe in this formal introduction of people who we already know very well for a long time. So I'm just going to tell you what I know about each of these people personally that have been here for the last 3 years. As I introduce each one of them on to the speaking position or the role-playing position. So Norman is a great person in terms of a team player. I've always seen that, I've never seen Norman not smiling. And even when he's very stressed, I have observed him during the contests, right? Like that's the only time I've seen him very tensed. And I've always seen that his coping strategy is smiling, right? I don't know how many of you use smiling as a coping strategy during stress, but that is about him. Thank you, Norman. Our next role player is Joy, and who's someone handling the art counter. Not that I know a lot about him, but I just got to know so much about him just before the meeting. and I think he's a brilliant new joiner to WMC, adding a new Arab flavor to the otherwise Desi market. Yeah, please go ahead.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. As your eye counter of the day, my role is to help you become more aware of the filler words and sounds we tend to use unconsciously in our speech. These include clutch words such as you know, like, and repeated phrases that may disrupt the flow or weaken the impact of your message, like this means, this means. The purpose of my role is not to criticize, but to help all of us become more confident, intentional speakers, the kind of speakers who can pause powerfully rather than fill space with noise. And since today's theme, Mentors, Masters, Mentorship Matters, it feels especially fitting. After all, great mentors lead by example, and speaking with clarity, control, and awareness is one of the greatest tools to use to guide and influence others. Lastly, let's not forget the word of the day, confident, a person you trust with your thoughts, ideas, and even your mistakes. Today, let's speak as if we are sharing our most trusted confidant, authentically and without distraction. At the end of the meeting, I will present a brief report highlighting where filler words appear and how we can continue to improve. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. We have some serious competition with regards to voice, articulation. Okay, that's very well noticed. Our next role player is Sharaf Al Kunni. Am I pronouncing it the Malayali way? Okay, so that is Sharaf. I don't know a lot about you, but I do know you're a new joiner, and I've seen a few of your messages on WhatsApp. I wish I could get to know you better, so I'm not going to pretend like I did. So over to you, Sharaf. Thank you.
Good evening, all fellow Toastmasters.
Good evening.
As a timer today, I am monitoring the time for the prepared speeches and evaluation speeches. At 5 minutes, I will show the green light. 6 minutes, I will show the yellow light. And 7 minutes, I will show the red light. In case of any power failure, I will show the cards accordingly. But there is a different timing today about the speeches. Dr. Sajid Kumar, it will be 15 minutes. So, Dr. Sajid Kumar, I will show 13, or at 13, I will show the green light. 14 minutes, I will show the yellow light. And 15 minutes, I will show the red light. At the end of the meeting, I will report the times for each participant. All the best, over to you.
So also pardon me if I'm not going to keep calling you Toastmaster, Sharaf, Toastmaster, all of that, because I don't believe in titles. I believe in people's persona and their own identities. So, yes, sir.
As well as the evaluation speeches, the same 5 minutes, green light.
No. 2 minutes.
Oh, sorry.
30 seconds and 3 minutes.
2 minutes, I'll show you the green lights. 2 and 30 seconds, I'll show the yellow lights. And 3 minutes, I will show the red lights. Sorry for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, once again. So in order to understand that we're already a little late, and I'm actually, if I look at the agenda, I actually have like a good 20 minutes, or 25 actually, but I have to forego so much of it. Just looking at my watch, and I was like, oh wow, I mean, I have barely spoken. Yeah, but then you know how it goes. Like the two people who get blamed for the delay in time is the TMOD or the GE. So these are the two people who always take the blame for the delay in the meeting. So without further ado, I mean, I also ran a little bit of a survey this afternoon to find out what do you think about mentorship in Toastmasters or even otherwise. And it was nice to see some people actually, you know, answer these statistics. So let's look at, so there you go. I mean, it's amazing to see, right? Like, what was this? It was an anonymous survey that I ran, and I figured out some few questions about what did you think about being here in Toastmasters and mentorship. So the first question was, I was guided properly by my mentor. 62% of the people said yes. That took me by surprise. I never expected that number there. And
You are expecting less or more?
I was expecting less. Because I didn't get guided by my mentor. In fact, I never met my mentor at all. So, for the irony is, my mentor brought me to the club and then disappeared. no, he was the same who appeared when my mentor disappeared. So he filled in. Right? Yeah. So Jeff got me to the club. He was appointed my mentor, and then he disappeared. And then not only did he stop coming to meetings, he left the club eventually. But then Sukumar, for some strange reason, for obvious reasons, saw something in me and started talking to me eventually, and then guiding me a lot and making me understand Toastmasters, right? Because for me, the whole concept of Toastmasters, or how it has been a 100-year-old brand that has evolved, I didn't understand the dynamics, and I was very, very naive. I have 30 plus years of experience in public speaking, but this was a new concept, right? So because I did not understand that, and he's not here today, but the moment the message went out of the group, he was the first one to message me and said, I'm not going to be there, but good luck. So that's what mentors do. So that's what so took me by surprise. He appeared, and then of course there were other veterans over here who I've always said. Rekha's been here, Ovin's been here with me, Panamulam has been with me, Prabodha, and Manoj is not here with us. But these are the people who always come forward and give me feedback about how I can make tweaks to fit into Toastmasters with all the other baggage that I carry. So basically that's what they told me. So let's go into understanding the other statistics. So VP Ed doing their jobs properly the last 3 years. This is for the last few years. Somewhat agree. So all the VP Eds for the last few years, this is all on you. Right? So my mentor reached out to me, wow, half of you disagree, saying that my mentor did not reach out to me. Okay. And says somewhat agree, and agree was about 37%. I reached out to my mentor. A relationship goes 2 ways, right? If you go back to biology, probably in your 3rd or the 4th grade or even 5th grade, you would have studied something called symbiotic relationship. You know what that means? I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Right? So, if you want something, you reach out to the people that you want something from. You want to grow, and you're here for that. So, if something does not come to you, you reach out to it. Like, this is a principle I learned in my childhood. My mom said that, when you want something to be done, you go after people. You don't expect them to come to you. And that is my follow-up strategy at work. Have you ever realized how much time you spend in following up in your work every day? Not just doing your work, following up. Has the work been done by the other people you designated the work to? Right? The amount of follow-ups that we do far exceeds the time you spend in your actual job, if you come to think about it. So when you need something, we go after people. That's what I have learned. So if you want to be mentored, you reach out to people. And that should be your goal, right? You don't expect your mentor to always come to you, right? So it's as simple. The student who sits in the class and fails and says, my teacher didn't do the job properly, right? So That's one thing, right? Let's look at. I think having a mentor matters. Wow, somebody who disagrees. This has been an anonymous survey. I couldn't really tell you who that is because obviously, if you had to put your name, I wouldn't have got a lot of the facts over there. So, because your VPN would come out, who was the VPN at those years would come out, a lot of that would come out. So that's why I chose my questions a little carefully and also not wanting the names to be out. But somebody who disagrees. I mean, it's okay to have a disagreement, but I would really like to ask why. If anybody here who says that you have disagreed to that question, I'd like to ask you why. If you would like to identify yourself. Anyone? Okay, is there anybody who generally disagrees about having a mentor in your life? Right? So that's a little bit about the statistics that we saw in terms of having a mentor. So as I keep trying to bring in my few cents to the value of this meeting, let's go into the education session. Our first speaker for the day is Geeta, and she's doing her level 1 project 3. But before we go into Geeta's introduction, we have our evaluator for Geeta is Dr. Anita Kumari. So Anita is a great doctor that I know of. I mean, in WMC Toastmasters. When one would look at her, I never imagined she's a doctor. She comes across more like a dancer than a doctor to all of us. And she is, because we've been together for the last few weeks practicing a skit together, and we got to know a little bit of her hobbies. So she's a child at heart, because that's what I always think. She's very bubbly and she's all over the place, and she brings in a lot of positive energy. So Anita, please tell us about your speaker and something about yourself if you wish.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My speaker, Geeta Krishna, she is attempting her level 1 project 3 speech, a path-based dynamic leadership. Purpose of this project is to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator during a club meeting. Today is her second speech in this series, and I wish her all the very best.
So our speaker for the first speaker of the education section is Geeta, and she's doing her level 1 project 3. The title of her speech is My Secret Spicy Love Affair. I like how you've already spiced up the title, and Geeta is a person who has been a little quiet in a lot of ways, but doing her work very diligently. I have seen her through the contest in the last few months, her contribution, and it always stands out. I always like the fact that she comes confidently. She claims she's not a very confident speaker, but I have seen her speaking very with confidence. So that's one thing that I really admire about you, Geeta. And what I thought about you earlier, I've shared it the previous time, and I was the TM only. But now that, So, Geeta, all the best for your speech.
Some say, lovers say, sudden burn. Others say, it's a slow poison. For me, it was a blend of both. Unexpected, undeniable, and wrapped in an aroma which I couldn't resist. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters.
Good afternoon.
Majority of you already knew who is my secret lover, as this is my repetitive speech. So I humbly request those who knew it to please act like you are listening to my speech for the first time. Okay, let's begin. I have a confession, a sizzling secret that might set your ears on fire. and make your heart race. I have been having an affair. Yes, you heard me right, an affair. But not with a person. But this affair is more far intoxicating, irresistible, and downright delicious. I have been secretly in love with biryani. This all started when I was 10. My uncle, with that mysterious smile on his face, he came my home and he bought something that would change my life forever. He placed a steaming pot of biryani in front of me. The aroma drifted up and enveloped me in a fragrance that is so rich and tantalizing it was impossible to resist. Caught up in that exciting moment and without any second thought, I just grabbed an egg and swallowed it the whole in one go. The next thing I knew, I was choking. I can't decide, was it a bravery or a madness? Yes, my first encounter with biryani was not so romantic, but still, it was my love at first taste. That moment marked the beginning of my spicy secret love affair, which I knew that would last for a lifetime. Now, let's get real. How many of you are vegetarians here? 1, 2, 3. You guys are nice. You guys are nice, but let me tell you, biryani is much better than you. Is there any dessert without any sugar or sweetness? No, right? There is no such thing called vegetable biryani. It's just a pulao. It's just a pulao with some identity crisis. It's some yellow rice with overconfidence. It is not biryani unless it has those spicy masala coated chicken or those juicy mutton and those surprised boiled eggs hiding in the layers. Now, biryani is the most generous dish I ever knew. It's like a magic. The more you eat, the more it appears. I promised myself one last spoon, but later, after 5 spoons, I still continue eating. And then comes the post-biryani syndrome. You know what it is? You can see me sitting on a couch at 45-degree angle, stuffed like a happy bear, wondering, did I eat the entire universe? Sorry, vegetarians. Only we true biryani lovers will understand that blissful induced coma. There is a fun fact. There are over 44,000 varieties of biryani. The sad thing, my evaluator, Dr. Anita, she didn't even taste one of it. Every love story has a villain, and mine is the weighing scale. After every passionate love with my beloved biryani, I step on the scale and it looks at me like a betrayed friend. Fast forward, this unimaginable thing happened. My relationship with biryani was getting too intense. The scale and I, we both had a serious talk. And we both know it was the time for an inevitable breakup and the story of betrayal. Yes, me and my biryani, we part ways. Then Dr. Saji came into picture. He came as my intermittent fasting mentor. And I started my diet. I was going very well, staying strong. But one day, the temptation of Hyderabadi dum biryani hit me. That aroma, I said I couldn't resist. Dr. Saji, I owe you an apology. I promised I will continue my dieting, but me and biryani, we just eloped. And so I stand here unapologetically in love with my spicy secret love, biryani. And if you ever ask me to choose between a buffet and a biryani, I will always choose my true love, biryani. And if any one of you dare to question my devotion, I have only one thing to say. Just mind your own pulao. Thank you.
Yeah, I thought I was the most lost person in the room today. Our next speaker is Murali, and before we speak about Murali, we'll speak about Murali's evaluator. So that is Dr. Sitara Srikanth. So Sitara is again a person who joined with Anita. So if you have noticed that they're more like these identical twins who can't live without each other. And they're good friends, and I wish each one of you had a good friend like that. You can be there with in your dance, in your drama, and in your doomsday, right? So Dara is a great dermatologist. I consulted with her, and I've known her even before she came to Toastmasters. So she's again a very jovial person, and she always does justice to what she takes. And that's what I like about her. She does it with her whole heart, and she gives her best shot at it. So, Sitara, please introduce your speaker, Murali, to us. Thank you.
Good afternoon, dear Toastmasters.
Good afternoon.
Today, I am going to evaluate our dear Toastmaster Murali Udekant, who is doing his Level 2, Project 2, Understanding Your Communication Style. His speech title is My Style. The purpose of this project is to learn about different communication styles and identify their primary style. Another purpose is to share the impact of their style on others. And I wish my speaker all the very best to deliver an outstanding speech. Thank you.
So Murali is our next speaker. You've got his project details, and once again about Murali, I didn't reach out to you personally asking how to introduce yourself, but there's nothing new that we all do. He's a great speaker when it comes to delivering comic speeches, etc. Again, Murali takes smiling to the next level altogether. You will never see him not smiling. I wonder how his spouse really manages with you, because when she's shouting at you, I'm sure he's still smiling. So, and that aggravates. Like if I'm pissed off and someone's still smiling at me, I would murder them. So I don't know how she takes care of you, but good luck on that. So, Murali, good luck to your speech, and please tell me which of these files do I have to pay for.
The last one that is mentioned about all my tactics, very damn weird. To communicate, you need to be. I also believe that communication does happen with animals, birds, other living beings as well. So communication happens in either form. There are verbal and non-verbal, I think, communication.
Let me also tell you about this couple who had this argument over dinner. And after the heated argument, they stopped talking to each other. But the husband had actually told the wife, I have a flight to catch, so wake me up at 5 in the morning. He woke up at 7. Good afternoon. Like I said, you need two people to have a conversation. And when you realize that at any given point, when you have having an interaction, you tend to have a conversation with two people, be it an interview or be it a lecture or be it a presentation like this. When I glance and I lock my eyes with you, we have having an interaction. So this is something that we all do, whether you like it or not, you have this kind of interaction. There are 4, basic form of communication, which is supportive, directive, initiating, and analytical. But this is my favorite because I tend to do this quite often. I have no regards to people in terms of when I say this, whatever that I want to say, I end up saying. I don't think of what the repercussion will be, how the other person takes this. At that point, I just want to say it. It's like having verbal diarrhea, where sometimes you think you want to stop and you don't know how to stop it, and the damn thing doesn't stop. You just want to finish it. So I end up doing this. It's like people say, words once spoken, eggs once broken cannot be mended. So something like that is what happens. Actually, I want to take you into one scenario which happened to me. We were presenting our designs to one of our clients, and then as we were going through different designs, that's when one of the members walked past the PR head's office, and he immediately called her in. She came in, and then he said, "What's your opinion? What do you think about these designs?" Everybody has an opinion. Opinions are like, can be good and can be bad. So in this case, she had lots of opinions, lots of ideas, lots of thoughts. I guess she was trying to impress the boss. And then she was talking about the designs we had presented, one after the other, one after the other. And I suddenly realized that she was shooting down all our designs down. At one point, our designs were getting smashed, and then she turned out and told the VP head, saying that, maybe we should get the whole set of designs redone again, because this design, to me, it doesn't work. And at that point, I had the option of either taking this supportive communication, being encouraging, helpful. You basically need to get their trust, stay calm, and then encourage them to express their concern. Had I chosen that path and then took her ideas and said, okay, no issues, we'll get those designs changed done, or maybe rework the design, things would have been different. The other one was this initiating communication, being social. Basically here, I should have had a friendly chat. Like normally what you do is, sometimes with some people, you can't straight away jump into what you want to do. You can't straight away jump into the business part or your whatever that you are there. Instead, you start. I like the Arab way of doing things, where you keep asking, "How are you?" and then the other person says, "How are you?" and then you go up and down. So this is the other part which I thought I should have done, paying a little more attention to her details of what she was trying to achieve. and understanding her end game that she wanted to impress the boss. So I should have played along with her. The other thing that I would have chosen is analytical communication, where I should have had all the facts and figures and told her, saying that, you know what, it won't work because we have spent so much of time on getting the designs done. We have spent so much of money and man hours in getting these things done exactly like what the VP head or the PR head had asked us to do in this brief. Had I said that, and pushed everything under the carpet and said, we'll go with you, things would have been a little different. But I chose to be having another conversation where you get to the point quickly, be specific, and avoid explaining things. So what I did was, going back to my figure, this is exactly what I did. I just gave it to her. I told her things like, do you even understand what the brief was? Do you understand the role that is required? Do you understand what this design purpose was? I finally had to say, did you even read the brief? And then I said, you know what? Get all your ideas and your facts and all that suggestions that you made. Why don't you make a brief and send it to us? And we then will look at it and have this represented with the new design. Can you do that for us? And she said, yeah, I'll do that. And she walked off. And then I thought, our job is done. We left. There was no response from her side. So we went back with the changes that was required by the VP, and we presented four ideas. And he said, this is fine. Had I looked at any of the other style of conversation and read between the lines, things would have been different. We would have got more business. The VP was going to retire, and she took over his slot. And there ended my business. So next time when you talk, be in such a way that the other person is also receptive of your communication and takes things positively. Otherwise, you'll be doing this. Oh, it's you.
Thank you, Murali. Two things that I learned from your speech today. Not to spell driven as D-I-R-V-E-N. And the other thing was, there was a spelling mistake. Sorry, the grammar Nazi in me just woke up and it saw that. So, the other thing I liked about your speech was about how you said, learn to say no to certain people the right way. Right? And this is what we call boundary management in life. How do we say no to people without offending others? Especially when you come from a culture where you're raised always to say yes to everything. Did your parents ever tell you, child, say no to uncle and auntie and I'm fine with it? They never did. They always said, don't say no to people and offend others. So you see the problem with us about not having the ability to say no without offending anyone is deep grained in the mindset of our culture. So when you have to say no to people, especially clients, if you're dealing with them, ask me about it. Right? How do we assertively say no is a big tactic in communication. Thank you for bringing that to the front. Our next speaker is Roy Scaria. Before we speak about Roy, we speak about Vivek, who is our evaluator for Roy. So if there's anything that you've noticed about Vivek, he's prim and proper with the way he carries himself and he dresses very well. That's something you would have realized. He's also a little bit of what we call as HWC. Do you know what HWC stands for? Handle with care. If you've seen those boxes that say fragile, handle with care, that kind of a person. So Vivek is a little straightforward, pretty black and white and all that stuff, but somebody who's done a better VP PR than I did, so kudos to that. So Vivek, please introduce Roy to us.
Toastmasters mentoring. So the purpose statement, purpose of this speech is, the purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. It is also for the member to share some aspect of a previous experience as a profession. Timer, please slow. This is a 5 to 7 minutes speech. All the best to Roy and Mike.
Roy is so proactive that he's already found us. So thank you, Roy. So Roy is a great gentleman. I've known him very personally, worked with him closely as a coach as well. And there's one thing that I learned from Roy is the amount of focus he gives into something he takes. So for those of you who don't know him very professionally, he heads a very, very large business conglomerate. And there's a lot to learn from Roy Sky as a person. And he's shared his personal stories with us. And he's been an orator, and I would love to see how your speech is, because I have also worked with you on that front, Roy. So that's the unique quality I admire about you, and I wish you all the best with your speech.
If I have seen further than others, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. Sir Isaac Newton, yes, Toastmaster of the day, my fellow Toastmasters, a very warm good afternoon. Throughout the history, great mentors shaped great minds. Example 1. Aristotle mentored Alexander the Great. A young boy, he turned him to become one of the greatest conquerors in the world. Example 2. Socrates mentored Plato, guiding him to become one of the greatest philosophers in the history. Example 3. DTM Rekha mentored Roy, turning a terrified Toastmaster into a semi-confident speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I may not have conquered kingdoms like Alexander the Great. I may not have written philosophical classics like Plato, but thanks to mentoring, I have conquered table topics and survived my icebreaker without fainting. Mentorship has placed a pivotal role in my life. My earliest mentor was a monk in the monastery. After a few intense interactions, he sensed my desire to learn chemistry. He encouraged and helped me to shift from maths to chemistry. That was the turning point in my life. And that is one of the reasons I am standing here today. From whom I have learned qualities that have early shaped me. Commanding presence, empathy, discipline, and even down to the housekeeping. The entire monastery was well organized and spotless. My second mentor was my boss, Rashid, a Swiss Moroccan national. He was the managing director of SGS, a Swiss multinational company. He was a powerful, charismatic leader, a bit intimidating for me at first. But after a few meetings, he found something in me. He appreciated my hard work, integrity, and the ability to challenge status quo. When office politics came on my way, he was like a human firewall. He believed in me more than I believed in myself. I was a trusted confidant. Eventually, he promoted me to general manager. And the business led by me grew like startup on steroids. Be it personal or professional, he guided me with wisdom and vision. Even after retiring 5 years ago, we are still in connection, at least twice a month. Even at his age of 72, he still continues to be my mentor, and he will always be. Now, without the pressure of KPIs. My third mentor is right here in Toastmasters, DTM Rekha. She is full of energy, wisdom, and the vast life experience. She has a peculiar ability to evaluate and mentor holistically. We never had long one-on-one sessions, but those brief sessions were impactful. She gave me honest feedback and guidance. At our first interaction, she said, "Roy, just be yourself." What an incredibly insightful advice. But my mind panicked. Which version? Is it the Roy vulnerable? Is the Roy shy? Or the one who forgets his name while holding a mic? DTM Rekha never spoon-fed me. Instead, skill-fed. Small moments, big impacts. She told me to prepare icebreaker. I prepared and practiced in front of the mirror. The mirror gave me standing ovation. So I bowed twice. At the club, I gave my icebreaker. Boom, standing ovation. Yes, I thought I am the Shah Rukh Khan of public speaking. Until someone whispered, "We give standing ovations to all icebreakers." At that moment, I realized Toastmasters is the only place where you can bomb your speech and still feel like a hero. My ego deflated. My growth inflated. That is the real me. In the words of Einstein, mentors extend our vision and enable us to achieve further heights. Every challenge you face was faced by someone older. Every life choices have been lived by someone older. We have the choices to grow further by embracing mentors in our life. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what Toastmaster mentorship is all about. No control, but empowerment. No instruction, but inspiration. The mentors here won't tell you what to do. They will walk beside you. Sometimes gently, sometimes with smile. Here is my final advice. Get a mentor. Appreciate your mentor and grow with your mentor. I have stood on the shoulders of giants. And now it's my turn to offer a shoulder to someone else to climb. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Oh, you need a standing ovation.
So Roy, who should get a standing ovation for watching you in public speaking? Right, that was a wonderful speech, Roy. But I wish I was your evaluator. I would have told you so many good things that I've noticed. And if there's one thing that you want to be mentored by Rekha, spoon feeding is the last thing you want to expect from her, right? So I know her even before I came here to WMC. I did a diploma in human resources, and she was my assessor and evaluator and my teacher. And there was this one instance where I was not getting a point, and she lost it. She's like, how can you be this? She didn't say this, but I read it through the lines. How can you be this dumb and animal? So I was like, oh my god, this lady is too stringent and all of that. But then she gave me that headmistress feeling. I was like, you know what? I'm here to learn. So, and then I come here to WMC and I know that she's a veteran. I was like, wow. Okay, so that is Rekha for us. So, and she's also mentored me through contests and very, very precise in what she says. She's very direct in her feedback. So, thank you, Rekha, for being a mentor for all of us and to Roy as well. On that note, I think the unsaid thing on your sheet is about taking a break. That's not mentioned today. And so we take a quick break for our usual photo session and grab some coffee and snacks together. And ensure that we're on time so that, I've done a lot of compromise here to keep it on time, so please be back on time. Thank you.
Won't you join us? We take a quick photo.
Sounds like a cheat code, yeah? That's okay.
So we always stand
Okay, photo time.
Guys, come to this side, please.
Yeah, please sit. Yeah, some video you can sit. Our president, where is you listen, I will sit. Maybe Vivek will sit there and we'll push.
Yeah. Step on that, yeah.
Don't say anything to Vivek.
Ready? Ready? Thank you. Thank you. My type of work I understand the stage comes to it's not that everything is prepared. But when I think we have one condition, my goal public speaking is one of the biggest things people will greater than that. People would rather be in alpha than live in the ocean. So, thank you so much.
Either you can repeat the same. Normally, I would say other things. You met time for something Otherwise, I am saying
The challenge is three. You're raising the bar. You're raising the bar. The challenge
not colors. Boxes are in place. I have no
Not sure when was the last time I was given so much importance, but thank you for waiting.
It's good, right? So that's how people get to celebrity.
Alright, so moving on with our session today, our next speaker is Open Prasta and evaluator is Rekha. So enough said about Rekha already. So Rekha, over to you to talk about Open.
Thank you, Toastmasters. Before I go on to this, I just want to tell you, Emmanuel, as your teacher, I'm really sorry if I came across as that. It never occurred to me. Okay, but Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and my speaker in particular. My speaker is attempting project 2 from level 2 of dynamic leadership. The purpose of the speech is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his or her primary style. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share the impact of his or her style on others. So I wish the speaker the very best, and timer, please note the time is 5 to 7 minutes. Back to you, Toastmasters.
So, Owen is our next speaker, and his speech title communicate. About Owen, obviously, he's been here as a veteran, and I have worked closely with him, and we were part of the XCOM, and got to know him personally to a large extent. And there's something about Owen that stands out is that he's a very, very good coordinator to get things done, and I've observed that. And when it doesn't get done, he just pitch it himself. So he's a great person that way. And yeah, I mean, so sorry, Owen, we kind of bullied you when we were together, but it wasn't intentional at all. So, but otherwise, Owen's one of the very first people I got in touch with when I wanted to join WMC, because he was the VP membership at that time. Was it education? Oh, so that was the time when Pranam was in and out as a VP membership. Or who was it? Who was the VP member? Because I didn't. All right. So okay. So yeah. So Owen, all the best for your speech.
Communication works for those who work at it. Toastmaster of the day and fellow communicators, good evening.
Good evening.
We need oxygen to live. Relationships need communications to live. So you can say communication is the oxygen in any relationship. I've seen marriages falling apart because words were left unspoken. Neglected conversations often led to broken relationships. I'm sure you all know the importance of communications. Here is a fun fact. According to Albert Mehrabians, 55% of communication is non-verbal and 38% is vocal varieties, and only 7% comes from words. Illustrate this further, I would like you to meet my 4 friends. They don't get along with each other, so I'll introduce them one by one. First one, Direct D'Souza. I have so much on my plate today. I have a meeting in a couple of hours. Could you please update these 2 slides for me? This person is in a rush but remain focused. Their approach is blunt, confident, and well-defined. They value results and efficiency. A Toastmaster with this style may give feedback like this. Your speech was good, but your gestures need improvement. Focus on that. Efficient? Yes. But without tact, it may feel a bit harsh. So, if you are a direct communicator, adding a bit of warmth will convey your message effectively. Second one, initiating ire. Ha ha ha, how's Toastmasters? I really enjoyed the theme. That fellow was hilarious. By the way, did you watch yesterday's cricket match? This person, friendly, engaging, and full of enthusiasm. Perfect initiating communicator. They connect with people with their humor, vivid descriptions, and storytelling skills. They bring energy into the room with their charisma. Toastmaster with this trait may say like this: your speech reminded me one of similar experience I had, which is so excited. At times, these communicators go off track. So if you are an expressive communicator, try to remain focused and channel your energy without distracting. Third type of communicator, supportive Sardar. Kasim, our office boy, is going on leave. We should try to help him. But I don't know many people around so well. Could you please take initiative to help gathering funds for him? His voice conveys concern and care, yet he lacks authoritative command. These type of communicators always try to help others but hesitate to push for action. So this type of communicator may give a feedback like this: your speech was awesome, your energy was amazing, your message was inspiring. These type of communicators good at encouraging but lack while giving constructive feedback. So remember, if you are this type of communicator, the first and foremost thing is that honesty, because if you give the honest feedback, it will help other person to grow. The fourth person, analytical Abdullah. How many people attended the meeting? What was served? How much did the venue cost? This person is concise, clear, and detail oriented. And their approach is very analytical. So these persons may give a feedback with lots of details. However, sometimes they sound like overly critical. So if you are an analytical communicator, balance is the key. You add up your encouragement along with concise points to encourage the speaker. So here is the question: what is my dominating communication style? Any guesses? According to pathway checklist, my dominant communication style is direct with mix of other traits. A colleague Zainab once said, "Owen, your emails are very direct and commanding, but I know in person you are quite different." It's interesting how it works being direct at work, but however I use that same approach with my wife, I end up easily with hot water on my face. So fellow Toastmasters, no style, communication style is inherently right or wrong. Each style has its own challenges and strengths. Imagine our speeches would be more better if we adopt the communication style, all the communication styles, and embrace the others' communication style as well. So as we continue our Toastmaster journey, let's not just focus on speaking, but on connecting, adapting, and truly communicating. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Owen. That was a great speech and some very, very important things like constructive feedback, objective feedback, connecting your speech with a tinge of humor. That was really, really very path-breaking. And I think there was, given all the phrases that he used, there's so much we can actually meditate upon. So Thank you, Bhavin. Our next speaker is Dr. Sachi Kumar, and his evaluator is Pitambaran Nayak. So, Pitambaran is a veteran Toastmaster, been around for a long time in Toastmasters, if I'm not wrong, at least. You're very familiar, and he comes from the army background, so it's all black and white. And you do it like this or you don't do it at all. So you come and say, no, Toast, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to wear the badge, you're supposed to do that. Why are you not doing it? So that's the correction master Pitambaran is. I know you even before you came into this club. Given my familiarity in the kingdom and my connection with you in the past. So thank you so much, Pitambaran, for reminding us the constructs and the rules. And could you please introduce Sajid Kumar, our speaker?
Master of Ceremonies, my dear Toastmasters, and Dr. Sachi Kumar, the speaker. Good evening to you all.
Good evening.
The purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skills needed to address audience challenges when they present outside of the Toastmasters club. But take it granted, this club is as for worse that they will create a scenario for you to take it in a way that you will not face such audience even outside. Having said that, this is from the Path Presentation Mastery Project 1 Level 4 elective project and or the mandatory project. Mandatory. Managing the difficult audience. And it's a very interesting project when it comes to Toastmasters learning experience, and I wish you all the very best. The time allocated is 10 to 15 minutes. Back to you, Master of Ceremonies.
So, Dr. Sajid Kumar, again, another doctor. It's just overwhelming with doctors in this club. If you want a free dermatologist, free radiologist, free pediatrician, free general physician, wow, we have it all, I guess. Well, anyway, so there's more we can talk about him again. I know him before he joined the club. We were gym partners once upon a time, and we're not anymore though. But Saji, your speech is pursuit of transformation, the very essence of Toastmasters and why we're all here. Welcome and all best.
Good evening. Most of the day, my fellow Toastmasters. So, I'll be talking on the pursuit of my transformation. I'll just start with a question. Am I fat or called obese?
No. Are you asking us?
Yeah, am I?
No.
No, not myself. Okay. So, all know?
Yes.
This was taken in December 2024, exactly 4 months back. This is called total body composition. This says my total body fat is 31% and anything above 30 is obese. So I am obese.
Then what are we?
The eyes deceive you. Long before my transformation journey, this was somewhere in 2016. This was a marriage outdoor shoot. This was my peak weight, 76 kg.
But you looked handsome still. Yeah.
So this was exactly 4 months after. This,
But you look better there.
yeah, my mom used to say, more chubby, more looking like a doctor. This is more looking like a patient. So this is
Yeah.
so this already a transformation was done. But then why I am pursuing transformation? But still I am 68 as of date. I am obese.
Making us lose hope.
So if you see any transformation picture, like in your FB timeline or whatever, what questions will you ask under the comments?
Informal language.
Spellings.
Not informal language. Gen Z. Gen Z. What question is
Is that allowed?
No.
Later, I mean, okay. Maybe.
Counter, please don't use this R as your thing. Because I was just thinking contemplate.
Was these your questions? Share me your diet plan. What is your exercise routine? How many days does it took for the transformation? Apart from this, any other questions you would like to ask in that comment line?
How did you do this?
Okay, any drugs, medications? Sorry.
How did you do this?
Yeah, that includes diet plan, everything.
But the irony is doctors themselves don't take care of their health and we keep talking about other people's health. What do you think about that?
It's in a way correct because a recent survey says more than 60% of doctors are obese. So we like to give advices, we don't follow. So this is our basic principle taught from the medical school.
But even obesity is a cultural thing, right? In certain cultures, being obese is considered to be prosperous and it's welcome.
Yeah.
And isn't it a deliberate build-up of an image by the medical industry to make some more money?
No. That was a right point pointed out. See, obesity is still it's considered to be a prosperity because back then people died of famines. So this is basically our.
No, but Dr. Saji, in certain African cultures, when a girl is going to get married, she is made to live in a tent for 3 months and she is fed so that she becomes very fat. Whereas in our cultures, we are made to lose weight because we are getting married. So where does this come from?
That's what the right point. Because the fertility needs hormones, and the one feeder is basically the fat. So fats are basically our lifesavers. We were dying from famines. Fat was our savior, and this is where we are here now. Any other questions?
So if you are actually going against fertility, you are killing off the humans.
Yeah, exactly. Now being thin.
No, nobody will see. Comparatively, dying from famine is more serious for a physical body compared to obesity.
What about the biryani?
It was assumed to be like it was like other than WMC Toastmaster, but the environment looks more like my clinic space. It's too late.
Please consider all of us as kids.
But my parents also take. Parents will take something, grandparents will take something. So it looks like my clinic space. Because when I was like talking to my the mother, the father will be on the phone. Like there will be no thing like okay, at least can I excuse me, nothing. They will be just talking like they won't wait for me to talk. Then the right.
Doctors don't talk, so that's another problem.
No, but that is in a private you pay for them. So it's, for them time is consultation. I am coming from a private. If you go for the government, it's exactly opposite. We need to consult rather than going for the time. Give value for the time. So supplements is also another question. Some ask them, if they don't answer them correctly, they'll go to the online. There are many WhatsApp universities, YouTube universities are there.
Can you include ChatGPT?
Yeah, recent thing. So, any of them tried this?
WhatsApp and ChatGPT
Yes.
Then the WhatsApp and
It's like evolution of medicine, evolution of science. Anybody?
yes.
Amla juice.
Yes.
ABC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
steps.
Steps
The
is
list.
setting number money now.
Sorry.
Steps and setting number. And then during COVID time, there is
Yeah, like the list goes on.
What about obesity drug?
No, medications we are not, because this is just a health talk for a non-medicals. So we're not including the.
Why can't you just give us
I guess Roy, you
make us all
otherwise 15 minutes you will talk.
Yeah.
See, drug medications we will not be including in this topic.
Okay.
So nothing works. Detox water. Detox water, as you said, might work, might not. So the real question you should be asking to anyone who posts a transformation picture should be,
Oh, this.
High calorie. High calorie.
Generally, nobody asks this.
Do you want to pick any of us?
You can only ask this
Do you want to pick who wants to answer that question or should?
yeah, like I'll be answering myself because this is my transformation, so I'll be answering myself. So that this should be the first question you should be asking. What made you fat in the first place?
I'll take the answer of this. What made you fat in first place is that chart which you showed in the first. Should say the authenticity of that chart.
No, I just
says that you are obese.
Drop the name and other thing just for because
No.
Maybe
Yeah,
the machine
that
is
chart is a fake. If you are obese, then what are we?
sorry, 31.
Yeah.
No, the 70% is the absolute fat, right? You should have only 70%, right?
No, see, anything below 25 is fine.
But Dr. Saji, the problem is that you all have to make up your mind and stick to it. Come up with one statistics and 6 months it is reversed. What are we supposed to do?
Yeah, cholesterol that is majority in Europe. Actually people in Europe and America you know.
Because diet is not one side. Like we have an ethnic background. That is why we don't rely on Western studies. We want our own studies. So the reason is that fat made me fat.
But if that machine is according to Western studies, then how can you trust it?
Which one, sorry?
That machine, that scan, right? It is.
No, that is a DEXA scan. That's not a machine. So that is the accurate one, irrespective of any.
Yeah, but its graph is according to Western.
Yeah, okay. The cutoffs maybe you are maybe talking. That you may consider that, but my majority of this thing is in the trunk. So the fat made me fat. F stands for
Keep it up at it.
So no, because there's no fat in it. I was a foodie. I snacked a lot. My mother is not a good confidant. Not my good one. When I ask for 1 egg, she gives 3. On the other hand, my wife is a good confidant. I ask 2, not less than 2, not more than 2. Exactly.
Wow.
This was a good partner.
Some people don't even get that.
Yes, I got the worst combination. My wife and my mother are living together. So me. So that's A stands for activity. Like all doctors, we advise for good activity, but we don't do it because we have a
University.
yeah. T stands for traits. It's a genetic trait. So that is actually should come from or just for a mnemonic I just made in the last. So it is genetics. My father was, so it runs in the gene. I just fueled up with the food and just add and surprisingly the fat is neither a hero nor a villain. Hida was telling about the flavors in Hyderabadi biryani that was brought up by the fats. You add
put more amount of fats and spices, you'll get that flavor.
So pulao is better.
Sorry?
Pulao is better.
Then masala is the
Pulao is all
not the
Spices,
rice.
spices adding to the
Rice.
so that and a little tinge of meat, which they don't have in identity crisis.
So do you think that with proper discipline you can beat the genetic predisposition?
Yeah, of course. So that will be my pursuit of transformation. So for any phases, we need some drivers for change. So what is my drive? I want to be within that percentage. So where are we now? Where I am right now? It was taken in 6 months back. So that fracture and all made me not go to gym for two months and just put on extra fat. So I have my goals. What needs to be done, I just explained, and will be explaining in further slides also. And how do you measure the progress? This is how it's very important. You need the weighing scale not daily. You might need to see him once in a week or once in a month. So use weighing scale as a friend.
Some people don't do it even in a year.
Sorry?
Some don't even use it a year.
That is overconfident. Like a new trend of loving the body.
You have to love your body. Who else is going to love it?
We all love our body unless we don't like. Imagine we have a wonder drug at no cost. It will reduce your weight no longer whatever you eat. Will you go for it?
Yes.
Yeah. Since that what it was not available, we are start living out. So this was same me. This was same me. So with little muscles and less fat. So
I feel it's more the clothes.
sorry.
It's the clothes. It's the shirt which is hiding the muscle.
What about the
Yeah,
glasses?
that's the t-shirt.
The glasses.
Yeah. So this is optics.
2-year time frame. More than
Yeah.
No, like this, it's standing.
so take home messages.
Use the correct chart.
Yeah. You're stuck on the chart.
So okay, I have made 3 C's. Might add the 4th C. Use a correct chart. First C, carbohydrate reduction, calorie deficit. You can still have your biryani with your calorie deficit. Consistency is the key. So I have just made these 3 C's, but having seen Emmanuel as a TMOD, I cannot end up with this. So 3 A's. Awareness, aware. Action, act now. Accountability. Balanced diet. Behavior change. Burn your calories. C is already we see. 3 D's. Discipline. Daily activity can be of anything, no need to be gym. Diet quality.
Is this going to go up till Z?
Yeah, we have only place for it. So food quality, fitness, focus matters.
How can you remember all that?
No, not only that, I feel it's a genetic transformation I require.
I feel you forgotten to add another F also in terms of.
What is that?
Food quality and diet quality, what I'm saying.
Yeah. See, for the F, yes.
that's
For the not at D.
D is diet quality, F is food quality. Both are same, right?
It's same, but it's not for the F. It's for the D.
No, diet quality starts with D.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh my
Just
god.
going with the trend.
Still 16. Nothing has changed. The clothes have changed. It's either like, Gucci or.
This is 76. You can.
That is a diet, not Gucci.
That's it. Nothing else.
Now this is Ghibli. So this is So, since our gym's closed, so we cannot meet often in the gym. So it is not about how much percentage; it's about how much dedication you give. Oh, thank you. Over to you, Toastmasters.
anything different when you were speaking?
Yeah, like I saw Surabila, no? So that's got in the mind.
Okay.
Wouldn't get Surabila's treatment.
Yeah, because she was more. I was thinking, what happened to her? Like she anyway knows the project, but then why she was so much upset? I was like, fine.
All right. So thank you, Sachi, and that was you got a very good threshold tolerance. I didn't know if you have patient, but
No, that comes from the my practice. Because imagine during my newborns, like my post graduation, where I didn't random, so it's kind of big of more numbers. There will be at least 30 babies, 2 nurses. So if one baby starts crying, as a chain reaction, everyone will start crying. So there will be at the maximum it's only two can. I was sitting in that and putting notes, and I will just do it. Like it's
Ears are tuned to it.
yeah, but then it's like good thing that I have the selective deafness, so that whatever my mind says, I do whatever my work, nothing enters.
speech is over, Sachi. Your time. All right. In the interest of time, which I'm not quite sure where we lost, we'll have to do the business session. So I'm Prabodha handing this over to him for the business session.
Yeah,
Before I start my business session, I think can we extend 15 minutes to the meeting?
No.
Please. We have 20 minutes already behind us.
Yeah, but also that 7-10 minutes is starting late, right?
Yes, also extend by 20 minutes. Yeah, extend the meeting. Yes, it is quite time.
Thank you so much.
No other option for us.
No, gosh.
For him, the 30 minutes, there's
So,
full list for him. Because 25 minutes will go for all.
Toastmasters,
Short minutes of meeting, 499 day, which was conducted online. The theme of the meeting was Life is Beautiful. Educational session had 3 speeches. Which were by Toastmasters Rabila Patali, whose speech was level 5, project 1, visionary communication, validated by Toastmaster Audit Caster. Second speech was by Toastmaster Rekha Uttam, level 2, project 3, pathway dynamic leadership, validated by Toastmaster Emmanuel Wiggins. Third speech was by Toastmaster Don Samuel, level 1, project 2 speech, pathway was visionary communication, validated by Toastmaster Sajid Kumar, which was followed by the table topic session by Toastmaster Abdul Rekhi, who used medium sports and sales as table topics, followed by business session and then general evaluation by Toastmaster Diljar Vishwande, followed by the award session. Awards, best of pair was Toastmaster Joel Ivan as timer, best of Toastmaster of the day GE and table topic master was Toastmaster Abdul Rahim as table topic master, best speaker was Radiant Rekha, best table topic speaker was Toastmaster Don Samuel and best evaluator was Toastmaster Emmanuel Wiggins.
Okay. On a single breath, can someone attempt this? Someone second. Okay, thank you so much. So, you are nothing to say? Okay, so thank you so much. Everything after control? Okay. And members will be there.
The current strength is 32 members.
Great. Thank you so much.
But now there is 3 members left. No?
3 members left is what?
They discontinued, right?
Yeah. But as for the group, still there is a group.
It will change.
Yeah.
Because 3 members less. Yeah. So you have to consider it that way. 29.
29. Effective. So, I'm expecting the education to be here, but
Yes.
Secretary, you want to say something? So from my side, actually, about the 500 meeting, we actually decided to conduct it here, agency, internal agency. So after this meeting, we will sit and discuss about how we can proceed everything with the agenda and everything, and we will publish by today evening or tomorrow maximum in main group. So anybody have any concerns about 500 meeting? You can share. If you have anything, I mean, till now, maybe you are thinking, yeah, main group, there is nothing appearing here. What is going on behind? like that.
It's in safe hands.
It's in- Okay. So maybe after this meeting, we will actually sit and discuss everything. And I'm expecting Dr. Babu to be here by 6:30. Yeah. So hopefully we'll discuss on that one. And all those who are actually completing their levels, please do it in online also and submit your for the education hour, and that will help our club to get the receiving points. So please remember these things to complete this in online. Okay, and that's it. I think for next announcement of the team will call.
You can call it.
Okay. 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 In that case. For our next term, external term, we are forming a nomination committee, and for that, I would like to welcome Toastmaster Robin to be here and announce the nomination committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. So, as per the protocol, I'm the head of the nomination committee, and we will elect the members, ExCom members for the next year, that is 2025-2026. I encourage all of you to reach out to me if you are willing to take up any roles. There are 7 roles and plus 1 de facto role that belongs to immediate past president. So there will be president's role, president, VP education, VP membership, VP PR, and the secretary, treasurer, and sergeant. These are the roles. Okay, if anyone is interested, please give me your names. And the last date to reach out to me will be today's 4th, right? 11th of April. So once if I receive any notifications from you all, if you come, you raise your hand, I encourage all of you to come forward and take up these roles. Okay, and in my committee, there will be 2 members in my committee. One is Toastmaster Abdul Rahim, and another one is Toastmaster Sukumar. So you may reach out to any of us. And I'm planning to announce the committee members by end of May, and at least we'll get some time for the committee members to interact with each other and form a committee. And the AGM date, you planned the AGM date, anything specific? Last meeting of the June, yeah. That will be a vote taking ceremony as well. So we'll be inducting all the officers. I encourage all of you to come forward and take up the roles. Every time we reach out to the members and ask them to take up the roles, but this time I'm encouraging all of you to come forward and take up the role. Raise your hands and come forward. It's a great opportunity to lead this wonderful club. We are one of the best clubs, and we are consecutively winning, I guess, DCP 10 points consecutively we are winning for the last 4-5 years. And there's a new award as well for the next committee. If you get, there is a new award is there to claim that 10 points. Spendly award. So that's what it's all about. And also I encourage if anyone is interested to take up area director role as well. So I encourage them to come forward as well. I'm the current area director for this particular area, and the next area director as well, there is a very high chances someone can take up the role from WMC. So we are having 2 pretty new clubs. They're not doing that great, but they've just started. One is FGS, it's very new club. In February we have started this particular club. As well as Banco Gas is going through with lots of reorganization and all. We are doing 2 clubs, Banco Refining and WMC. So I encourage if anyone interested, please reach out to me and I'll support them. So, okay. That's it from my side. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. I think it's okay. And you control back to Toastmaster. Thank you so much.
Thank you, gentlemen. And I think we know that we've extended time, but if you actually look at it, not only did we start late, but I also think we have an unrealistic time given on the agenda. Because considering that one of our speakers needed 15 minutes to finish the speech, and then there was an additional announcement in the business session. So I think if our ex-con can realistically plan the timing and tell people in advance, people will come with a notion that it's going to be late. So we're all mentally prepared. Just a suggestion, general evaluator, you might want to include that in your evaluation as well. So the next session is going to be with our general evaluator. So I'm going to really bring him on here. Penambulam is known to all of us, person who leads the Cavaliers, and because he leads Cavaliers, he just pays his membership at WMC. He really is absconding for most part of the year. So I think Rekha was right to bring him on board is to give him a role playing part in this meeting. So known very closely to me, also been very supportive in Toastmasters and otherwise. We have a very good rapport that we share even otherwise. So over to our general evaluator.
A mentor is the one who leads. And every time they say, I'm the one who's mentoring the Gavins club, and I rarely take the rules. So that's one of the reasons I last time also showed up, and today also showed up. First I told Surabila, let me think about it, then my inner voice was telling me. On the other side, I was forcing people to take rooms in the club. On this side, I'm refusing to take rooms or in Germans or in German. That's the reason I immediately took up this room. So, fellow Toastmasters, I was thinking, what is the most used word in our feedbacks to our fellow Toastmasters, to our children, and as a teacher to our students? What's the most used word? It is, but you could do better. That's what we always say in our. So I was always reminded by my mentors that, especially TTM data, I used to say that but will negate all the positives you mentioned before. Instead, we need to learn to use other words to suggest improvement. So as a G, it's my responsibility to point out what we did well today and where we can improve in terms of procedures and protocols. But at the same time, we need to break the conventions, as Tia Modi pointed out today. But on a lighter note, what I would like to say is, when you're traveling in first class, when you have a lot of money, it doesn't care what you wear when you're flying. But when you're traveling in economy class, you need to make sure that you dress well to get back respect. So, Emmanuel Williams can say. But when I stand here, I need to follow the procedure by addressing you all as Toastmasters. Because we are setting an example for all the newcomers here. And when they go to other places, I'm here for 10 years and this is what you learn about Toastmasters. We're not talking about here about what is right and wrong, it is about what we demonstrate when we go to the similar platforms outside Toastmasters. No, sorry, within the Toastmasters. It's sort of later on. Okay. Talking about the theme, my go-to person all the time, my confidant, once said, a spouse is not a destination, but a fellow traveler. This person does not know how to put it, how to sugarcoat. She always uses this to hammer on your head and say, grow up. As none other than DTM Rekha.
She's been my colleague, my mentor for the last, say, 22 years. The day I landed in Bali in 2002, from that day onwards, whenever I have any advice, whether it is Toastmasters, relationships, issue, parenting, anything, I call her and she is very brutal in her comments. She does not know how to sugarcoat her comments anyway. But let us
See, I'm not the only one.
Another person which I like to fondly remember is he says, "You encourage your daughter to read and dream, but do you encourage her to act without restriction?" This was Dr. Suresh. Just one question from your mentor is the shoulder you stand on and change the way you look at your life. And like the faith I come from, I have different gods I approach to for different things. For money, I go to Toastmasters. So moving on, let's move on with the agenda. Let's start with the individual evaluators. Before I call the individual evaluators, can I request the timer to give the time taken by the speakers as well as the tabletop speakers?
Good evening, all Toastmasters. Toastmaster Kita Krishna took 6 minutes 59 seconds. Toastmaster Murali took 7 minutes 44 seconds. Toastmaster Roy took 7 minutes 34 seconds. Toastmaster Owen Krasta took 7 minutes 8 seconds. Toastmaster Dr. Sajeev Kumar took 16 minutes 41 seconds.
16 minutes is okay. Yeah. Only Toastmaster Roy and Toastmaster was interaction.
16 minutes 41 seconds.
Yes.
30 seconds.
Alright, so Toastmaster Murli, Toastmaster Roy, and Dr. Sajeev Kumar is discounted for voting. Usually, as per the procedure,
Only what it was interaction. If you were not, I would be surprised.
Okay, as a procedure, we are supposed to ask everybody to vote for the best speaker at this point of time so that their voting is not influenced by the evaluators' comment. But since it is an online voting, I don't know how it happens, but just sharing the information. This is the time. And another interesting thing what I want to share is this. He in the Accounts Club also did the same thing. So I request everybody to vote for the best but there was no session like that. Okay. And I pointed out to him that you should have presence of mind to notice that don't just read the script. But I also did the same mistake. Anyway, moving on. Let's move on with the first evaluator. As requested by DTM Breaker, we'll be having her. Okay. I thought usually the evaluators want to move first. Okay, so slight change of agenda. We will first evaluate Toastmaster Ubin Krasta's speech by DTM Rekha. In the speech itself, our speaker pointed out that being warm is the important thing in the feedback, but no guarantees. Let's welcome the mentor of all the mentors, DTM Rekha.
George Bernard Shaw said that the biggest problem with communication is the illusion that it happened. Good afternoon, General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and my speaker in particular. The voice resonated in the room. It was about communication, and you're looking forward to see how his communication has impacted others and has he identified his communication style. So he successfully identified his communication style, bringing in the various styles of communication, and that was lovely because each time that he he introduced the different styles, you could hear a different voice modulation. Right? He was able to modulate and reach out to you. The language used was easy, comfortable to listen to, and flowing. So it is a pleasing presence that Owen as a speaker presents to you. Then what is it that I was discontented or disgruntled with? That with that kind of a voice, where is the energy in your body? Why are you standing like a reluctant speaker on stage? And why are you not owning that stage? Holding on to the same gesture as a crutch. You go through 7 minutes and 8 seconds and you keep wondering, why change your hand? At least the same gesture to the other hand. Give me, save me from the monotony. As a speaker, it's the words that reflect your speech, but it is also your body that is speaking more than the words. Are you sure of what you're talking about? That is what your body will tell us, right? And it's important for Owen to start standing there in the many roles that he does and own the stage by standing firm, holding on to a gesture, changing the gestures according to the voice. If you're saying energy, you can say energy, right? It's a natural progression. So look at how you are presenting yourself, because that is also communication. It is not just the words, but communication is what you haven't said yet and what the audience perceives that you're going to say. And that only your body can convey. The way you move can convey, the way you look at somebody can convey. So when you move your eyes around, you are telling the audience, hey, I see you, right? When you're not, then you are excluding a certain segment of the audience completely. So in totality, you need to work on your gestures, but hold on to that voice and give a more vibrant and brilliant presentation. Back to you.
A strong punch felt like a breeze.
Thank God it's not you.
Moving on to the next evaluator. Our next evaluator, Dr. Anil Kumari Bhaskaran, will be evaluating Toastmaster Gita Krishna. Put your hands together.
Good evening, everyone. What we witnessed today was the love affair by a self-confessed introvert. This was the second speech in the series. This is her repeat speech. And even though we are hearing it for the second time, she had us all enthralled throughout the speech. And her love affair with biryani had us in peals of laughter. What I loved the most was the content. I think the content was king because her speech had funny quotes. I think they were all original quotes like love at first taste and vegetable biryani. It is a yellow rice with an identity crisis. Or it was like yellow rice with overconfidence and pulao with an identity crisis. So much so that after her first speech, when each time I had vegetable biryani, I thought of him as a fraud or masquerader. Yes, the content was superb. And as for the plus points in her speech, it had good clarity, there was a good vocal variety, which I thought had significantly improved from the last time. And there was good eye contact, gestures were good, and audience engagement was excellent. She was very confident and comfortable today. And compared to last time, she was less nervous. But with more practice, you can be even more fluent and even more confident. Going forward, to challenge yourself, you can plan a better utilization of the stage. Along with the speech, you can plan, practice how to use the stage, how to move around the stage, and part of the speech can be done here. You can plan and orchestrate it as a performance. Telling this also makes me feel like a fraud because I don't practice this movement too much, but still it can be done. We'll do it. The voice modulation is good, but it can also be improved upon. And if at all a message can be incorporated or a call for action, I know it is very difficult for a humorous speech, but if it can be done, it will be better. Having said that, I wish Hita all the very best, and I will like to tell you that you are no longer an introvert. Maybe you are an ambivert, or you can even be called as an extrovert, but not an introvert. And you have a very great future as a humorous speaker. Thank you.
This was one of the recommendations in GE that when you are taking control from somebody, give back the control as well. Yeah. So, whether we shake hand or not, but we have to give the control back to the person whom we received. Because we noticed in speakers as well, the control was not given and taken back promptly. So that was part of the evaluation as well. Moving on to the next evaluator, our next speaker was Toastmaster Murli Udekant, and be evaluated by Dr. Siddhartha Sri.
They say communication is an art, but today we have seen that it is a basic skill required to earn your livelihood as well. Good afternoon, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters, and my speaker for the day, Murli Udekant. Thank you for giving us this tip today. It was actually an enriching experience to listen to your speech on the topic different aspects of communication. I do believe that you did justice to this topic, understanding your communication style. The purpose was to learn about different communication styles. Actually, this would have been a mundane documentary-like speech, which Murli, with his personal touch, infusing his personal experience into these theoretical points, made quite lively and interesting. And through his interaction, through his experience about an encounter with a client, he explained in detail about the 4 types of communication. But the irony was that his style of communication was none among these 4. And this brought us to the second purpose of his project, that is identifying the impact of his style on others. He lost his business as he was totally oblivious to the basic communication styles. Yes. Thus, he has impactfully addressed his purpose projects, the purpose of his project. And he has effectively utilized the stage. His eye contact was good. His hand gestures were used effectively. He was kind of comfortable with the audience as well as the topic. And the speech was engaging to the audience as well. If I have to give a few suggestions regarding improvement in a speech, I felt that the opening was not that catchy. It could have been a bit more innovative to pull the attention of the crowd. And we all know that he's a person who speaks quite fast. So if he could reduce the pace a bit, giving spacing in between could have been a bit more connecting to the audience. Something I loved in his speech was the concept, make sure it's connected before you speak. It is a lesson for all of us. Yeah. So overall, it was a well-crafted speech, but with a bit more focus on an innovative opening, strategic spacing, and maybe a bit more dramatic conclusion. Definitely, you will conquer further heights. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Siddhartha. Moving on next, speaker, Toastmasters career, Roy's career will be evaluated by our handled with care Toastmaster. He's a person who handles everything with care. Whatever he touches, you will see that in today's memes. Put your hands together for one.
Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, stadium breaker. Fellow Toastmasters. I never thought Roy would elevate her to that great levels, but that is actually, it shows how important a mentor is for any of our Toastmasters journey, and that's what his project actually entailed. He had spoken about different facets about mentoring, what he had gone through, starting from the monk that guided him from math to chemistry, his boss that appreciated the hard work, integrity, and ability to challenging status quo, and the breaker, the one after Aristotle. So, my point is, what's there to like in this speech? Number one, the speech actually called for him to speak about how mentees, the various facets of what a mentee entails, and that's what he shared about while tracking the trajectory of these incidents. Number two, verbal flourishes. I noticed a lot of that here. For example, speaking about his boss as a human firewall, startup on steroids, personal or professional, wisdom or vision. So that's alliteration. The thing about scripting your speech well as delivering it, that makes the audience actually enjoy the speech more, because this is like flamboyance. It's a flourish that actually upgrades the message with how the speech you actually envision the speech, how it actually affects you. That can be elevated by the experience of language. Now, what could be improved upon here? There were too much pauses within the speech. If you had subtracted all those pauses, that 7 minute 34-minute time can be reduced to 7 minute 30. Those 4 seconds or 6 seconds can be shaved off. Why I say this is because when you actually include a lot of pauses in your speech, it becomes overly dramatic. There are phases in the speech in which you have to be dramatic. But if you do it each and every time, the audience may be fatigued by what you experience. So I've seen Roy actually speak about the various, how different mentors had impacted him. His boss had been a confidant apart from being a mentor. That's exactly what the speech has actually supposed to be about. So in short, to summarize, speech objectives were met. Great verbal flourish as well as performance could be improved upon is reduce the pauses. If DTM Rega comes after Aristotle, one day definitely Roy would also be there. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vivek. Our next evaluator for today is DTM P. Governor Nair, who will be evaluating Dr. Sashikumar. Welcome to Dr.
Am I fat?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. My BMI is above the average? Yes. Isn't it?
Yes.
Mr. General Evaluator, my dear friends, the way Dr. Saji engaged us with asking that question is something was like a trailer how he is going to handle the audience, because he know to hook them first before they hook you. You hook them with the questions, showing the pictures, perfectly set a stage for that uninterrupted way of interruptions throughout the speech. Yet, you were able to convince them the importance of maintaining a fit body towards the end of your speech. That shows you definitely had worked well with a proper way of homework, what you are going to say, how you are going to say, and what are the area you will be focusing on. Job well done when it comes to the project objective. The key aspects of these projects, that is, how you are going to take on the interruptions from the audience. Now, when it comes to the elements of that, how you are handling, how you are going to handle the interruptions, how you are commanding the room altogether, be it on the stage presence, be it on controlling or bringing back the audience attention to you as a speaker, be it audience engagement, vocal variety and tone at various level, and of course, closing the speech with a meaningful message. These are the key elements what it required when to control the audience. If you split into these areas, audience engagement, well done. Command on the stage, I would say, bit more needed. For example, you were standing only on one side of the stage, and when a question is asked from you on this side, you are looking only to that particular member and answering, leaving rest of them disengaged with you. Had it been otherwise, you received the question, answer it, looking to rest of the audience, bring them back into you, and you will be having the better command on the stage. Coming to the rest of the disruptions, like when there were a lot of cross talks, you could add a bit of change in your tone, bring them back into your subject. Because when Roy was saying about some interruption or interrupting you, you could say, of course, it is interesting, but it is not as per my purpose in the speech. You said in the blunt way saying that, no, this is not the point what we are going to discuss. By one way, disrespecting an audience is an indication that it needs a bit more of improvement. Overall, I would say you handle the audience within the given purview of project, all the aspects, elements were met. However, with better stage control and audience engagement and answering them in a way that their voice is heard but at the same time bringing it back to them is what I was expecting. Thank you very much. Back to you, Shamsiddar.
Wonderful speech and a wonderful evaluation. It's a good way to end the educational session. Timer, can I have the time taken by the evaluators?
Good evening, everybody. Toastmaster Dr. Anita Kumari took 2 minutes 32 seconds. Toastmaster Dr. Sitara Sridharan took 2 minutes 50 seconds. Toastmaster Vivek Talagan took 3 minutes 11 seconds. Toastmaster Redalkam took 3 minutes 16 seconds. Toastmaster Pidambaran Nayak took 3 minutes 33 seconds.
Just 3 seconds only.
Okay, so only one disqualification. So may I request everybody to vote for the best evaluator? Sorry. Just was a bit under is no, you can, but that's fine. We are talking about whether it's disqualified or not, so you should tell us a go.
Yeah, I'm disqualified by
Yeah,
30 seconds. Yeah.
3 seconds.
33 seconds.
Yes. No, let it be there. Take this option. Moving on to the next report, we will move on to the R counter, the Arab flavors, the Desi market. I'm borrowing all that from Toastmasters members. It's very commendable to take up roles immediately after you join the club. Welcome, Toastmaster Joy Ayub. Thank you.
Good evening once again, everyone. Here is my report as the accountant for today's session. I noted the use of filler words such as and and repeated phrases among some of the speakers and role players. For our Toastmaster of the day, Emmanuel, 5 times, 4 times, you know, 1 time, so 8 times, and 1 time, but 1 time, actually 1 time, and repeated phrases 5 times. For our first speaker of the day, Gita Krishna, on the speech of My Secret Spicy Love Affair, 1 time, you know, 1 time, and repeated phrases 3 times. For our second speaker of the day, Murali, on the speech of My Style, 4 times, 2 times, you know, 3 times, and repeated phrases 2 times. For our third speaker of the day, Roy, on the speech of giant shoulders, 1 time, that's it. For our fourth speaker, Owen Castra, on the speech of communicate, 2 times, so repeated phrases 2 times. Our fifth speaker, Dr. Saji, on the speech of person of transformation, 4 times, 3 times, like 3 times, so 2 times, and repeated phrases 1. For our evaluators, Dr. Anita Kumari on Hita speech, 1 time, 2 times, and 1 time, and repeated speech 1 time. For our second evaluator, Dr. Sitara, on Murali's speech, 6 times, 2 times, actually, that's it. And then for our evaluator, Vivek, on Roy's speech, 1 time, so 1 time, basically 1 time, and repeated phrases 1 time. On our DTM Recha, on open speech, 1 time, right 1 time. And our last evaluator, DTM Pitambaram, on Dr. Saji, 0. And for our general evaluator, Kumali, repeated phrases 1 time. Overall, I observed an amazing level of awareness, and all of you speakers demonstrated composure and clarity in your delivery, which aligns beautifully with the spirit of mentorship we're celebrating tonight. Let's continue being intentional with our words, and remember, even a pause is powerful. Over to you, General.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joy. Our next report is from the grammarian, Toastmaster Norman. Can we hear from you?
The word of the day was confident. Toastmaster Joy used it once. Toastmaster Saji used it twice. Toastmaster Punambalam used it once. Hope I'm correct. Did anyone else also use it, or I just? And coming to the errors in the English language, Ida, while she was giving her speech, what I noted was twice by mistake she told majority of. And these shortcuts and all, what I feel is it should be used only in the WhatsApp, but when we are typing on the screen, so it should be clear. For example, what questions you will ask, or how many days it took for this transformation, the question mark should come. Small mistake, but yes, it does gets highlighted. And while we are talking casually, that time we can say again and again and again, but I think so it's only during the poem or poetry it looks good. Otherwise, during the speeches and all, it will be a distraction. And someone also told passing of a person, it should be after he passed away. And when someone who goes on and on and on. And other than that, what I noted about Emmanuel while he was speaking was he was emphasizing each and every word, so it's a good lesson for us on and stressing each and every word. Some good lines which I thought I'll carry and I will like to share it so that even you all can also carry it on with you. When the why is clear, the how gets going. Don't do to please other people. I don't believe in titles, but I believe in persona. Symbiotic relationships. I will scratch yours and vice versa. HWC handle with care. In mentor and mentor relationship, it's very important that you must reach to them. You must not expect them to reach to you. And good lines which I will like to share is Pitambaran said, disrespecting the audience whenever you are speaking in place of when you are talking in a big audience. Then Rekha ma'am said, body that is speaking more than words. Geeta mentioned mysterious smile. Did I feed the entire universe with good phrases which can be used in the speeches? Murli mentioned verbal diarrhea. Avoid over explaining. Roy mentioned there were a lot of things about Roy, but few of them which I noted was great mentorship, great minds. I didn't hear properly whether it was human fireworks or fireball. Fireball. Spoon fed in place of and skill fed. And then Owen mentioned 7% of communication comes from words. No style is right or wrong. That's it from my side. Back to you.
Yeah, I request everybody to vote for the best of timer, account, and Namarian, and also the best of three, the best of two. Not the talking masters, so best of two. Toastmaster of the day and the general. Meanwhile, I'll move on to the general evaluation, the general meeting. Starting with the agenda. Before the meeting, the pipe was well created by our Toastmaster of the day. Used new techniques to get feedback and to use the feedback to communicate, interact with the members. It's an excellent way to participate. Talking about the agenda, few things I need to mention about the agenda is the break is not mentioned in the agenda. So I think it was there in the online version, but in here the break is not there. That is one recommendation. Second thing is my family name is put first. My second name is my first name is coming second. So Tirumala is my father's name. So that is fine, but it's just about thinking about the agenda. As usual, we can try to start our meeting on time so that we give enough time to our TMOD, especially when he had a very wonderful theme to discuss and share and interact with people. We couldn't get that completely. When you see the flyer and when you see the theme, we expect more and we wanted to have more from him, which did not happen. That is mainly because of the lack of time. I don't think he had enough things to share. The sergeant down started well by explaining the rules, especially for talking about, do not talk about religion, sex, or politics. But every time I hear about that, I think what else we can talk about. We can talk about. But having said that, we have to go as per the conventional method. But the president made sure that our life is deeply rooted in our history and culture, and we learn everything not only from our living mentors, from our historical figures, and we rightly pointed some examples from the history or historical. He gave the history of Toastmasters International Annual as well, which is a mandatory as part of the president's speech. But what I did not notice, or whether I don't know whether I missed it, but we did not notice mentioning about the WMC mentors when TMOD was explaining about, or rather the history of WMC. That need to be, this is not for the today's TMOD, this is just a feedback for the future TMODs so that we don't, it is part of the TMOD script that we need to talk about the WMC mentors or the founders or the history of WMC Toastmasters. Excellent theme. If we don't have the answer to the why, then don't do it. Okay, let's still debate about the conventional and unconventional methods. That discussion will never end. It will keep on going. Going on to the general comments, some minor comments are there, which maybe we can debate again. It's about when we are addressing the speaker during an evaluation, do we say as my speaker or the speaker? This is one thing which the experts should say. And I noticed Vedant, when he said the speaker, and the rest of us are used to saying my speaker. The question I raised is just to be careful when we are doing it during the context. So those people who have gone to area and this division should tell us better. Should we use my speaker?
No.
Is it okay to
So
say
you
my
are
speaker?
evaluating that speaker. You generally the protocol is not to mention the name. So
Not to
that
mention the name. Okay.
the person who's introducing can mention.
So is it mandatory that we use the speaker because the speaker is for everyone, or we say my speaker?
Both are okay. It
Both are.
doesn't matter.
Just raised it. This came up before also. Okay. And rest of the things I already mentioned about making the agenda, break was not mentioned, and as well as about shaking hands while transferring controls. The two things which I want to point out is I think we can avoid putting the duct tape on the doesn't look really professional. Can we put a clear tape here? Or the whatever tape? So that's something which we can try. Another recommendation for evaluators just is that, and again, DJ Rekha should tell us more about that. One is we are always used to use but. That is something I think we should avoid during evaluation. Give the positives, use some other fillers to go to your recommendation. This is one thing. Second thing is when we are evaluating different type of people. People are human beings are not same. People don't take criticism same. One is I'm a very soft-hearted person. If you tell me something very harshly, I would not come next meeting. But Emmanuel is a very strong man, so he will so it's okay. So I would suggest, I would suggest sometimes we are saying that in evaluation in Toastmasters is very soft and we are not improving or sugarcoating is there, so don't do that. So it depends on what is the objective of the speaker. If the speaker is really looking for tough environment, want to grow, knowing their personality, you can really, like how DJ Vega was evaluating moment that you did, this was not appropriate. So he takes it very positively and he works on it, so for him it is okay. And there is already an existing give and take relationship through mentoring is there.
No, it's not like that. I discussed with him what he wanted.
Yes.
So the evaluation was as per this thing.
This was not a recommendation for you. This was for the
No,
others.
what I'm saying is that all evaluators have to ask
Ask them
to
what they
the speaker, what is it that you want me to look out for?
Mm.
And then evaluate on that.
Yes.
And the other thing, since you're mentioning evaluation, is that you should evaluate that speech as if you're hearing that speaker for the first time. Don't bring in past speeches or anything. Only today's speech as it is what we should evaluate. Because for the contest, that's important, right?
Okay. Is being soft an option for
Yeah,
evaluating?
being soft. You can be, you can put it across in a soft way, even the harshest criticism. It's
No, that's not an
constructive.
option, that is mandatory.
Yeah, it's a constructive
I need
criticism.
it all here to grow, Being soft and sugar
No, but,
coating will not make you grow.
yeah, you should tell your evaluator, I don't mind you being.
Crash me.
No, why I felt that was sometimes, for example, a newcomer is there, let's say they already are fighting to come out of their insecurities and all that, and when we see that the evaluator is really harsh on the other person, they assume that this is what I am also going to get it, so they might stay back.
Yeah.
So maybe we can put across that this is what we have asked them, and this is what we are giving it back. And again, about the figure for between appreciation and recommendation, one thing I would suggest and I learned is that instead of saying that you did not do it, it's better to use that we would like to see. So, for example, we have hands, okay, you are holding your hands like this, you did not stretch your arms. Instead, we can say that you have such a long hand, but it will be very pleased to see wide open hand gestures. So I would like to see that, or we would like to hear you speak more and utilize the full allotted time rather than saying that you will not speak full time. Like that. So that's the only suggestion which I wanted to give. Otherwise, everything well. Enjoy the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, General Evaluator, for a very informative evaluation, I must say. Kind of analogies, descriptives, examples. That was a quite articulated. And while you were in the meeting, I also saw that you were taking a lot of notes. And you started by saying conventional, unconventional, like economy, business class. That was great. Let me remind you, I don't do economy or business. I have my private chapter. So. Right. So there was a little bit of what I wanted to share with all of you, and that did not really happen because of the paucity of time. So I'm just going to scrape through a little bit of. There's a lot of information available on mentoring and mentorship on our Toastmasters portal. So I took a couple of links over here, but I'm not going to open them right now because I want to wrap up. But what I want to tell you is that there's a wealth of information for mentoring and being a mentor on the Toastmasters portal. In case you haven't really got access to it, you might want to log in and check out the materials. There's also a toolkit that you can procure for being a mentor. There's club mentorship articles, there's individual mentorship articles, and so on and so forth. So when I was like looking at how far we could go with this, that's really great. And I remember I've not used the word confidant, so I was also going to ask you, do you all have a confidant? Somebody you can go to, somebody who will just listen, not like me that thinking that everybody comes to me for advice in solving their problems, right? Some of us just go and talk to someone, people start giving you advice. So I'm just that one kind of a character. So that was one thing. So what I would like to say that it's just not about the relationship being a mentor-mentee that I wanted to talk about. I was also talking about why should one become a mentor, right? And why do you think people become mentors in life? Or they take that up? Especially in an institution like this, which is not for profit. So, why do we have to take up the role of being a mentor to somebody else? What kind of satisfaction do you actually get while you do that?
Makes the world better again. Better place.
Sure. Right. But if I were to ask some of you who are mentors, and we've been talking about Reka mentoring, and we've been talking about other people also. For me specifically, I've had a lot of people who come to my face and give me feedback. And I don't take it negatively. I don't get defensive because I am used to a lot of that, like Panam said. But Reka, what makes you feel that? Why do you mentor people?
First of all, I don't want to mentor anyone. People come to me, so
right.
When they come, I feel responsible. But at the end of it, I feel a sense of fulfillment and accomplishment. Yeah, for myself that I was able to help. I think we are programmed to help each other,
right.
And that fulfills a certain element of my need to be validated, recognized, and as well as it also teaches me what people are struggling with, and you realize that what is difficult for you, that comes through as well. But at the end of it, it is a very satisfying, fulfilling experience. Though I would rather not see Panagulam's message that gavel grooming and this grooming, and I try to ignore as much as possible. But when I do it, it leaves me with a sense of fulfillment. That's the word that I would use. Yeah?
So, basically, and we have got what Reka had to say. Thank you, Ayub, for a clear, meticulous follow up on what we were doing when we were speaking. Alright, so on that note, I wanted to close by sharing with you uh, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you've ever come across this in your management studies, or
That's what I wanted to say.
exactly.
It increases my self-esteem as well.
Absolutely, right. So for those of you who don't know about this particular illustration that I put forth in front of you, this is about a theory of motivation. Abraham Maslow, one of the greatest philosophers and management gurus that we claim in a lot of ways, designed one of the most famous motivational theories ever. Studied even until now. I take this up with in my coaching strategies as well. According to Maslow, he said that human beings get motivated at different levels in life. And he classified human motivation as through different levels, which are 5 different levels, starting from the most basic to the most required but not very popular kind of a motivation level. So if you look at this, I'm not going to get into that because that's a theory, that's a lot of it, but I'd like you to look it up on the internet whenever you can. And according to the 5 levels of Maslow, the basic human motivation starts from what we all need, which is physiological, which is to do with the body. The next level is called safety needs, which is when your basic needs have been met, what do you want more in life? To protect what you have, that is safety. And then there's love and belongingness, which is an innate human requirement for each one of us. And that's one reason I come to WMC. Gives me a sense of belongingness. So, and at the 4th level, he says esteem. What makes you feel better about yourself? And how good do you feel about yourself? So, that's the 4th level. And the last level is something called self-actualization. And very few people reach there, according to Maslow. Because to be at that level, it is about giving back to the community. Self-actualization is more self-awareness, working on yourself, giving back to people, finding a sense of fulfillment that the other 4 levels don't really give you. So if you're a mentor, and if you're doing it for free, then you're not really getting anything. Then I feel the one thing that should keep you going is that satisfaction of being a catalyst in somebody else's growth. And to that end, I think everybody should be a mentor to someone in terms of the fulfillment that we all get about being a mentor. So, with that, I actually wrap up what I wanted to share with you all today. In fact, I've not been able to share a lot. I understand the psychological requirement to having to sign off, and there's a further meeting extended for those of you for the 500th meeting or so. And one of the most important things that I always tell people is to practice what you do. There's a favorite quote, you would see me speaking in many of my speeches as well. It's it's a quote by Will Durant. We are what we do repeatedly. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. Right? It's not by Aristotle. It's a mistaken quote there, but it's written by Will Durant. So we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. So please practice what you learn and keep going consistently. Over to our president for the day.
Is the theme of the day informative? Yes. And is the Toastmasters of the day did a good job? Yes. Please give it a big round. And the results already with me. To announce the results, I would like to call our general evaluator and Toastmaster of the day to be on stage, please. Toastmaster Kunnamala? So, the best timer at Ramadan award goes to Toastmaster Joy and
Thank you.
best TMODG goes to Toastmaster Emmanuel William.
I'm going to post in Instagram that he is giving me a
Best Evaluator Award goes to Vikram Rekha Uttam.
Actually, I would like this to give it to Sitara.
Ah.
Yeah, come. Because upcoming star in the evaluation, almost near perfection. So come and take it. Yeah. Okay, that's for you. Yeah.
Amazing job.
You're not kind, encouraging you.
And Best Speaker Award, none other than Toastmaster Hita Krishna. Thank you. Please.
Thank you.
Okay, so our next meeting is 500 milestone. So right now I'm going to adjourn this meeting. This meeting number 499B is adjourned. And I discussed, already discussed to stay back. We will discuss about this matter.
The timer takes the best timer.